Hey everyone, you're here with Mark on Perfect Gardens TV. So, got a great comment. No mention of oxygen. Odd. Can't process food when they're dehydrated or when they're drowning. I thought this was interesting just to kind of clear up a couple facts. You have to think about this, right? Plants are drowning, right? If that was true, then deep water culture system wouldn't work, right? Because the roots are always in water. And the reason why DWC systems work is because they're providing synthetic nutrients at a higher level, pumping the nutrients into the plant. And if anything's going to be available, it's going to be taken up. So right there, the roots are drowning, right? So it comes really into under oxygenating is just being one factor in your providing fresh water to roots is, you hear me talk about all the time, water can become stagnated within 6 to 8 hours, right? And at that point, it becomes under oxygenated. And then at that point, other various types of pathogens can start to set into your root system. That's why it's important why to rewater it. But that's just one side of it, right? You can't really drown the roots. You could just wash away the available nutrients. And it's just like in the previous video I talked about, this only really matters to growers that are growing with synthetic nutrients, with biology, or living soil. If you're a full synthetic, it doesn't really matter because you're force feeding nutrients. So, yes, and then dehydrated, when there's not enough water in the environment, no enzymatic production can happen. Salts that are water soluble begin to become salts again, and then they begin to bind together, and, calcium molecules will calcify around calcium molecules, and phosphorus molecules will crystallize around more phosphorus molecules, and excess salts will build up because common molecules like each other, right? So, my point to this is you can drown the roots all day long. You just don't want to flush away your enzymes. You don't want to flush away your nutrients. And because of how dry amendments work, the bacteria need time to solubilize it. That's why you don't want to flush it away. For hydroponic systems, you can drown the roots all day long, but if you don't provide a high oxygen content water, then the water will become stagnated pretty quickly and root rot will begin to form in the hydroponic systems pretty quickly. So I wanted to clear that up for this one question. I think in the concept in your mind about understanding about drowning and underoxygenated, overoxygenated, flushing out the enzymes, flushing out the nutrients, overwatering, underwatering, salt buildup, all these terms in some level in my mind, I feel like they need to be properly defined so that we could really understand how they all correlate and work together, and how at times if you use one term, it doesn't properly define the situation properly. Right. In this situation, using a word like drowning, because in some situations it's good that the roots are drowning. And in other situations, it only becomes bad when that water becomes underoxygenated or that water flushes out of the system, taking the nutrients with it. I hope this video was helpful. I just loved getting into the little details of things at times. So we're all talking the same language and it's not confusing to any one of us. And I'm not saying I'm trying to create the Sanskrit or the initial language. I'm just trying to help document it and clear it up so that we can agree blue means blue, purple means purple, and so on and so on. Anyways, have a great grow, everyone.